Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Unstuck Your Business. My name is Mattbeard. I'm joined today by my good friend Mark. He's our systems manager. He takes care of all the stuff on the back end, setting up the CRM, setting up all the important things to make sure our business is running. Mark, say what's up.
Hey, what's up, Arizona? Good morning.
Let's go, man. This is going to be a ton of fun. So, if you guys tuned in last week, we were talking about lead flow, and I was showing you guys on our CRM how we do that. Today is going to be a ton of fun because I get this question all the time. I get asked, like, Matt, how do you do your lead follow-up? So, like, do you use autoresponders? Do you have do your team physically do the follow-ups? How does that work? So that's what we're going over today. So guys, as you're joining in, please put in the comment section what you're hoping me to answer. Like, is there something specific that I can help you with today? That's what I'm here for. Okay. So please put your questions in the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, put it there, Facebook, wherever you're watching in from, put it there, as well as what market you're in. Where are you at in the United States? I know every single week we get folks from all over the country. So I want to see where you guys are at. What's working in your business and what do you need help with? So that's where the questions come in. We'll do Q&A there at the end. I have my computer screen over here to my right. So if you see me looking over there, it's because I'm going to be looking at your guys' comments. Okay. So today, let's break it down. Mark, are you excited for this or what, man? You ready to rock and roll? I see a head nod over here. So let's do this thing, guys.
I said, yeah. Sorry about that one.
All good, brother. All good. So guys, lead follow up in your CRM. This is huge. If you can get it systemized, you're going to buy yourself a lot of time. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here. You guys are going to see, I'm going to put myself down here in the bottom right. So this is your CRM. This is what Bomb CRM looks like. If you guys already have Bomb CRM, it's going to look something like this. But you want to make sure you get the most out of it. You want to make sure you're using it properly and you're getting the most out of your the functions that are already built into the CRM. Okay. So let's talk about the idea of follow-ups. So typically when our lead managers or our leads get pushed in, if they have motivation, those are the ones we're going to focus on first. Right. But the reality is there's a lot of times when it comes to building your pipeline, sometimes people are 2 months out. Sometimes people are 4 months out. Sometimes people are a year out. So how do you maximize those opportunities? How do you squeeze out everything you possibly can so you stay front of mind to these people over a long period of time, right? Because if you physically have to do it, you're going to fall off, right? There's going to be times where so many leads fall through the cracks because you forget to put them in, okay? But the power of an autoresponder is you won't forget. It's always happening, okay? When it comes to our leads, we break it into 3 different buckets, okay? So I'm going to show you guys on a Lucidchart, just like last week when I was showing you guys the idea of lead flow. Okay, the same concept goes to your Lucidchart. I'm gonna go back to Lucidchart. I'm gonna show you guys how we follow up. So you guys can see here we break down our leads into 3 different categories. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Those 3 categories are short term. Okay, that's 14 to 60 days. We have a midterm, which is 2 to 6 months, and then we have a long term, which is 6 months plus. So I'm gonna show you guys how exactly I use Lucidchart in conjunction with our CRM to make sure that I'm getting I'm getting the most out of the CRM. So when I go to structure an autoresponder sequence, meaning that these things are going to happen without me physically having to do it because my CRM can do it for me, right? You guys will see here is an autoresponder. This is something that you can attach. The autoresponder is the finished product. You attach that autoresponder to a specific lead based on the lead type. In our case, those 3 lead types are short-term, mid-term, long-term, okay? But how do you set up an autoresponder? You start by creating actions. So instead of just making a bunch of actions here, right, you guys can see day 1, SMS, hey, just following up, right? But before I come here, before I start adding a bunch of actions and stuff, I'll go to Lucidchart first and just kind of sketch out how I want that whole sequence to look like. Right? Like, how do I want it? Do I want SMS? Do I want a physical phone call? Do I want an RVM? Do I want an email? Like, what do I want that action to be? I outline it first in Lucidchart. So let me show you guys what that looks like first. So I'm going to scroll over so you only see the short term. Mark, can you see that just fine?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So short term, 14 to 60 days. Day 0, I want to send out an SMS. Day 0 is literally the day that we identify this as like someone. So this is only for people who want follow up, guys. Not everyone gets put in like an autoresponder. This is people who say, maybe we had them on the phone. You're like, you know what? I'm going to need a couple weeks, or you know what? Oh man, I've got so much going on right now. Can you call me back in a month? Right? These people fit into our short-term sequence. So as soon as I put the autoresponder on them, day 0, that first day, they're going to get an SMS. Now, what does that SMS will say? It's like, hey, thank you so much for your time today. I don't want you to forget about us. So I just wanted to shoot you a quick text and just thank you so much. And just say, I appreciate your time, right? Whatever you want that SMS to say, but something along those lines. Because remember, you're following up on the conversation, because literally the same day you talk to them on the phone, they're like, yeah, I need a month. Perfect. Autoresponder, it's going to send them an SMS that same day. So you're going to make sure you're not like, hey, what's going on? How are you? It's like, dude, I just talked to you 30 minutes ago, right? You want that to be, almost like a follow-up on that conversation. So that's our day 0. We're going to shoot an SMS. Okay. Now the next part of the sequence, day 3. So 3 days later, we're going to shoot them another SMS. Hey, just checking back in. I know you wanted me to follow up with you. Whatever you want, a generic message, say, hey, I know you had said you needed a little bit of time, but just wanted to check back in and see if you had any questions about what we talked about, right? That can be your generic day 3. That way you're not attaching any specific text to like specifics of the conversation, right? Because otherwise it's impossible. You can't put them in an autoresponder if they have like, hey, just following up. I know you said you needed 3 weeks when you talked to someone who said they needed 2 months, or you talked to someone who said they needed 2 weeks, right? Instead, you keep the message pretty generic, but the idea is still the same. You want to be top of mind because something could have changed over the last 3 days. So these messages, these follow-ups happen much more rapid in a short term. Okay. You'll see, guys, as we go down here, day 7, they're going to get an RVM. So just a ringless voicemail from one of our phone numbers, and it's going to be your voice or someone else on our team. But we find that typically if our salespeople are making the calls, we want a salesperson to have that message. And typically, like, you guys got to think about the big picture. If you have multiple salespeople and they talk to John, but I mean, this other person also talked to Steve, and this other person talked to, Ashley, whatever. I mean, you can't have 3 different RBM sequences. So typically you'll have one. Let's just say it's John. Say, hey, this is John with, such and such, whatever your company name is. I know you had a conversation with our company a little while, about a week ago. Just wanted to follow up. Give us a call if you have a second, right? That's what that week RVM looks like. So they get an SMS, and they get an RVM. Okay. And again, guys, the purpose of Lucidchart, I'm not attaching this to the CRM yet. I'm just mapping it out before I go do that. Okay. Day 14, SMS and personal phone call. How does this work? Okay. On day 14, I had set the autoresponder to automatically send these people a text. Okay. But also, when our agents put someone in this sequence, a short-term follow-up, they'll also set a task for themselves. So, okay, boom, I attached the autoresponder, and now I'm gonna scroll down to my tasks. I'm gonna show you guys. So let's go to an opportunity. So let's just go here to Amy, right? If I scroll down, they can set a task for themselves. So they'll put them in an autoresponder, and then they'll set a personal follow-up with whoever, right? They'll set a due date, maybe 2 weeks from today, right? And they'll set a time, and then they'll create that task. So that happens physically by the agent when they put them in this responder, because the SMS is going to go out automatically, but the personal call, the reminder is going to need to be made within the task here. So that's how that works, guys. Okay. But at that point in time, in 2 weeks, we want a personal phone call. We want to at least try to reach back out to them. Okay. And that's how we do it. And you guys will see, once I make this autoresponder, I can just attach it to the lead and I can hit start, which is really, really, really cool. But let's go back to the flow chart here. Day 14, SMS, personal phone call. Day 21, SMS. Day 28, RBM. Day 35, okay. So this is about 3 weeks after this call. So our agents know if they tried this call for this follow-up sequence, then they'll also set another personal call about 3 weeks later. but they know that they're still getting followed up on weekly. SMS, RVM, SMS, personal phone call. Now, you guys may say, well, what happens if someone said they just needed 2 weeks, or someone said they needed a month, or we already converted it? Very simple. They won't finish this whole sequence. You can just shut it off within the lead, right? You can stop autoresponder. And that's what they're taught to do. They can just hit stop and they won't get the rest of the messages. If they got, hey, I do want to sell, perfect. Or, hey, never call me again, perfect. We'll stop the autoresponder. Okay. So the structure is very simple here. You guys will see in the short term, they're basically getting a message from us every single week for the, I believe, what is this? This is a 10 message sequence. So day 0, day 3, day 7, day 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 56, 49, 56, sorry. And hopefully by day 56, we have an email for this seller. We have an email for this person, because we can say, hey, listen, we don't want to bother you too much. I know we've been texting a lot and we've been texting back and forth. If it's easier, we can send you a couple things about the company. We want to make sure that we keep you in the loop. Do you have the best email? Because I promise we won't spam you, but sometimes it's just easier than us, texting you, and we don't want to bother you too much. Because if we get to day 56 and they still haven't converted, then it's time to move them over to the midterm. Okay. So it's a personal call here and an email. And the email is basically saying, hey, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you, giving us your email, whatever that might be, but that's done personally. Okay. And we move them over to the midterm. Okay. Now, within the midterm, this is 2 to 6 months, right? 2 to 6 months. Let me look at the questions real quick before I keep going here. RVM platform, which would you like? Okay, I'm gonna answer this one real quick. What RVM platform? Also, RVM platform, which do you like? So for mass RVMs, we had used a platform called Stratix in the past. We don't do mass anymore. But if you do want to send out mass RVMs, Stratix is kind of what a lot of folks use, and it's very cost effective because you're gonna need to send a bunch of them to get leads. So Stratix, but as far as like within the CRM, it uses slide broadcast. So it'll attach the audio from the slide broadcast to your autoresponder, and it pulls the audio from there, and it's a part of the sequence because they have that open source API, so it allows us to do that within Podio. So we use within Bomb CRM, we use something called slide broadcast. And also, what's your favorite text platform? We want our VA Hub VA to start texting as well. So Batch Leads is great. Lead Sherpa is great. Rocket Station, not Rocket Station. It was, oh my gosh, I can't think of what it was. But you remember Tyler used to use something. It had like a rocket. Launch Control.
Launch Control.
Yeah, Launch Control was good. We don't use those. And honestly, guys, like SMS could be a thing of the past here within the next like 5-6 months. So just be prepared for that. You're going to find success with any platform you consistently use. Currently, we use a mixture of Batch and Roar. So that is our text platform that we prefer. So let's get back into this. Midterm, 2 to 6 months. Okay, so this is that right in between stuff. Maybe you've already put them through the short term. They'll hop over to the midterm. Some people literally say, call me back in April. And that's like 3 months away. We'll go ahead and put them in this midterm because day 1, they're going to get another email from us within this sequence. So hopefully if we put them in this sequence, we have their email. Okay. And then I left a lot of this blank because you guys can see the most important part I want you to see is the way we go about structuring this, like the number of days. Okay. So on a midterm sequence, maybe I'll send them in day 1. So not day 0. So the day after our conversation. So if I had just called them on the short term way down here, right? I don't want to, call them again or put them in another autoresponder sequence where they're going to get it again. So the next day they get something. So day 1 is the starter of this sequence here for 2 to 6 months. Day 14, they'll get something. Again, they said they're not ready till April. So I don't want to bombard them, but I do want to check in biweekly. So day 14, day 28, it's another biweekly check-in. Day 42, biweekly. Day 56, biweekly. Day 60, biweekly. And then after 2 months, we'll hop over to the 1 month thing again. So after we've gone through 2 months, then they'll get a message from us every month. So 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Okay. So the concept is I want them to hear from us more often earlier on, and then it's a more slow drip as time goes on. Okay. And again, we can set that up in our autoresponder sequence so it will deliver exactly like that. Okay. So again, concept biweekly to get started, and then move to more long term as you go on. Okay. There will be some personal follow-up calls scheduled in here, but I want you guys to see kind of what that timeline looks like. Okay. The idea is to be front of mind. When they're ready to make a decision, we want to be front of their mind. Does that make sense, right, Mark?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, sir. So that is your midterm stuff. Okay. You can literally follow this sequence. Now, there are people it's like, you know what? I'm not ready to sell for another year. Literally, sometimes we talk to sellers and they're like, okay, yeah, I'd sell. And then sometimes they're like, we're ready to do the acquisition. Like, well, I just renewed my tenant. So how about just call me back next year? Okay. Maybe I'll start with the short term and then I'll move them to a long term. Okay. This is your month on month. So long term is 6 months or more. Okay. Day 0, they'll get an email and then we'll put them through a sequence. So they're going to get a follow-up every month. So we know they're not ready to make a decision anytime soon. We just want to be front of mind. Okay. So every month they're going to get a message from us. Month 1, month 2, month 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, this is until they convert. So if it's a forever follow-up, we'll just continue the forever follow-up. It'll notify me when they're out of the autoresponder sequence. So I have to put them in again. Okay. But this is a year-long thing. And again, the greatest thing about setting this up within your CRM in your Podio is you can just simply hit stop. Okay. You can simply, after they've gone through and they've either converted or they're dead, you can just hit the stop autoresponder. And you can move them quickly through a short term, a midterm, or a long term simply by assigning them a new autoresponder here within the platform and clicking start. So if someone has made it through the short term and they still haven't converted, you want to put them in the midterm, you just remove the short term, add the midterm, and hit start. And then day 1, they'll get a message. So if that makes the most sense, guys, I want to see some questions in the comment section. I'm going to answer those here in a second. So that's what that looks like within when I go to structure any of this stuff. I'll put it in Lucidchart, and I hope you guys do the same, so you can make a good flow. That's the whole purpose of doing flow charts, so you can see exactly how it will flow over time. Okay, so within Bomb CRM, when I'm ready to create this stuff, I just go to actions. Okay, and maybe I want to add a new action, and this action would be called short term action 1. Right, based on my Lucidchart, I can go. I know I have 10 actions here. Or maybe I can just literally label it short term day 0. And that is an SMS. And this one to say, hey, just wanted to shoot you a quick text. Thank you so much for your time today. Whatever, right? You can save it there. And that's the text that they would get. Now, if it's an email, the subject line in the body of the email, if you want to attach any kind of links or anything specific, you can put that here. This would be the email that they get. If it's RVM, you would link to RVM audio file. Our support team at Bomb CRM could help you do that. You would choose the file here, and they will link within your autoresponder. So we can help you set that up. But for a text message, short-term day 0, literally, I can just save that. Okay, I can go back to actions. You'll see it here. Now maybe I now want to do a short-term day 3. I know this is an SMS. Hey, just wanted to check back in. Do you have any questions I can help with? Right? Can save that. That is my SMS for short-term day 3. Okay. And you guys can see I can go on and on and on here. But once you make the actions, you then go to your autoresponder. Right? You will make a brand new autoresponder. And this could be short-term follow-up sequence. Okay. Action 1 in X days. So this is in 0 days. And it will pull that action. Right? And then action 2 in X days. I know this is 3 days.
3 days.
And then boom, there's your action. I can go on and on and on and on and on. You guys can see it holds up to 10 actions, but if you want more, we can add more. But that's why I mapped out 10 here, so you guys can see exactly how to use that in your CRM. Now, with that, if I continue to fill it out, I can put the whole sequence there. I can save that autoresponder. It's now been saved. I'll go back, and let's just say I want to go back to my opportunities. And of course, you can send text within your platform. So it's as simple as going down to the autoresponder section, right here. And now, boom, it's right there. I created it. I can attach it to the lead. Now it's attached. All I have to do is just hit start, and bam, it's going to send it. And any responses from your autoresponder will be collected here within the activity section. Boom. Just started. See, SMS just sent. Next action date is in 3 days, right? So you would set it up accordingly, however you want to set it, but any responses would be recorded here, right? Very, very, very cool stuff. Very powerful. When you're ready to move them from a short term to a midterm, you can just hit remove, right? And then you can add another one. Hit start, and it's going to rock and roll for you. So very simple, but very, very, very powerful. Okay. I'm going to answer some questions now, guys. So I see a bunch of stuff in Facebook. Let's get to this stuff. I'm going to go, let's change the camera. What up? We're back. I'm going to move this over so I can look at these things. What's up, guys? All right. If you got some value from this, please like this video. Please share it with anyone. And up to this point, if you guys got some value, please, if you haven't already, head over to the YouTube channel and we're going to answer some questions now. What do you think about that, Mark?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Mark says, yeah, dope. Let's go.
That's dope.
All right. So let's see. Yo, what's up? I'm ready to get your CRM. I would love for you to tell me everything else you use to help systemize your business. Also, I'd like your team to put in all the platforms I use to the CRM. Thanks a lot. So all the systems we use, if you want, Levi, I think this is you. If you want, you can check out our crucial tools that we had just finished up 2 weeks ago. We talked about Podio, we talked about batch leads, and we talked about call tools. Very important. All three of those things are very important. And within Podio, the main things you're going to need for this is you're going to need a way to send out agreements. Okay. So right signature is a very important one that you're going to use to send agreements. And then, of course, if you want to do the RVM feature, slide broadcast for RVMs, texting, Twilio. Okay, so Twilio is integrated in your CRM to do the texting. So very, very simple on that stuff. But that is, we'll make a document. I can send it your way as far as like all the little things you're going to need. But that's a part of the onboarding. So if you get the CRM, our support team will let you know. It's like, hey, so we're going to need to get this. We're going to need to get that. It's not a subscription to death kind of thing. A right signature is like $40 cheaper than DocuSign, and it works great. So that's like $10 a month. So you are informed on all that stuff with the onboarding of the CRM itself. So let me know how I can help. And then Jet and Nick can definitely help you too get rocking and rolling. Yeah, so that would be the passwords through there. That would be with the support team, not with me. Jet and Nick will make sure you get set up on it. Do you expect individual text to sellers to become illegal in the near future or just mass text? So I think mass text for sure. The one-off text I think will be okay for now. But it's still going to be a gray area for a little while. So that's why the little click text thing is great right now and it's compliant. But I can see where if one phone number sends more than, 20 texts of the same message within the hour, it's gonna get flagged, or even 10. So it's just gonna get more challenging. But again, guys, there is a way. You will find a way. With SMS, who knows? Everyone's kind of freaking out. But in 5 or 6 months, people will be like, well, we used to do this, but we kind of changed it. And now we send text messages like this, and it still works really good. So I would say, don't be stuck right now and by not taking action, right? Just take action on SMS and then, accommodate the changes, adapt. Okay, because there will be some changes, but that's okay. We will make the changes necessary, and of course, we'll document all that here so you guys can stay up to date on what we're doing too, to try to stay compliant and continue to send SMS messages. Because hey, we love it, dude. It's the cheapest way to get leads, and everybody loves the a way to get leads
Yeah.
for cheap. So cool, guys. I know this was an information overload. But I wanted to keep it short and sweet and to the point today. I didn't want to just go off and rant and talk about why this is so important. I wanted you guys to show you real stuff of what we do and how I structure my autoresponders. If you need help in your business, getting autoresponder set up, if you need help with the flowchart, if you want a copy of that flowchart that I made, just so you can make sure you have your 10 sequence set up properly, please shoot me a message. Probably email mattbeard@vahub.com. We'll get you a copy of it. I'll just save it as a PDF so you can have it for your reference, and you can give that to our support team at Bomb CRM. Submit a ticket and say, hey, what's the best way to set this up? If you have questions, or like, hey, Matt said something about slide broadcast. How can I get that set up in my CRM? They'll be more than happy to help you guys. That's the purpose. Hope you guys get, the best practices on these lives. I love doing them. I love coming on and hanging out and bringing on other team members like Mark, because Mark deals with my craziness every day and he sees the stuff that we do. So, Mark is there to catch, like, hey, we're going to make this change, or hey, we're going to make that change. And, there's some stuff that I talk about on here and Mark's like, okay, let me take a note down here. Perfect. Right. So hopefully you guys got some value. And again, if you haven't yet, please head over to my YouTube channel. We go live there every single week doing these Unstuck Your Businesses. So hope you guys got some value. Mark, what's your final thoughts on this, brother?
Yeah, my final thoughts about this one, Matt, is do not miss a lead in a single day, because when you miss someone or some lead in a day, you will miss a million chance that you are going to get from that lead. That's the
Right.
reason why we have to have a follow up system, especially in the CRM.
Right. You already paid for the lead. You got to try to squeeze out all the opportunities you can. Literally, this is a conversation I was having with my team here lately. Like, all the contracts we've gotten so far this month have come from follow-ups, have
Yep.
come from the leads we got in February, March, January. So this stuff works, guys, and I want you to implement it, and I guarantee it'll make a difference in your business. So whatever we can help you with, please send me an email, mattbeard@vahub.com, or just comment on this video. I promise I will get back to you. I appreciate all you guys coming and hanging out with us today, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you next week. Peace.